All right, hi guys, it's Caitlin. So in this video, I just wanted to recap September because I just feel like September has been a very interesting month energetically, but I feel like in hindsight it makes sense. I'm on Threads and I've been seeing a lot of, intuitive, empathic people talk about September and then talk about eclipse season. Also in particular, just saying like the energy is just intense, and I'm just right along. I feel it right along with them basically. So there's many different words I feel like I could use to describe September. I feel like odd, weird, energetically intense. I feel like I could use all those words to describe it, but I feel like transformational is probably the best word to describe it. But in hindsight, I feel like it makes sense because I feel like for most of the videos on my channel, posted on my channel so far, I've been saying that the summer was transformational, and I'm just going through a major transformation in general. It makes sense that September would fall in line with June, July. It just makes sense it would fall in line with just all of the transformational energy going on, so to speak, right? So yeah, in hindsight, it makes sense. So, but it also kind of reminded me about past Septembers because, I don't know, I guess just reflecting back, like once everything is said and done, I just feel like there have been past Septembers going on, many years now that I recall that have also been significant. And I was first thinking about 2017, but I feel like there's been Septembers before that have been pretty significant for me. Like kind of like going back to 2013, for example, that was when I found out I was pregnant for the first time. Something significant happened, like I was saying, in September 2017. In 2018, I feel like that was when I was going through my dark night of the soul, dark year of the soul experience. That's my least favorite year of my life so far. But in September 2018, I was just going through like a lot of different shifts, a lot of different breakdowns. But in hindsight, I'm grateful for those breakdowns because I feel like, they prepared me. They taught me a lot about patience that I feel like I'm being very mindful of and implementing in my life, so yeah. And then 2019, I had my spiritual awakening. I mean, I feel like we're always awakening. I've said that before. But I feel like that's when I had like my major shift in consciousness. And then in 2019, September to be exact, that's when I left my long-term relationship. And then, other things happened. And then in 2020, I'm pretty sure it was 2020, that's when I had my first burnout experience when it comes to my business. So yeah, September, I'm just seeing how transformational and how pivotal September has actually been for me. And then, I feel like it's probably pivotal for anybody because, of course, it's like the energy is affecting us all. But, with what I went through because we're in October now, where I'm recording this on October 2nd, but with what I've gone through this summer and then in September, I'm going to keep in mind to be on the lookout for transformation in future Septembers. So yeah. And then not only I feel like has September been kind of like significant, I feel like time is actually going by super fast, and it's not even a matter of, I feel like, getting older or just having kids, because I feel like it's been said that, when you get older and, when you get older and then when you have kids, that time flies. But I just feel like in general, time is going by super fast. And I feel like at different points, it kind of felt like I feel like most of the time in September, I felt like time was going by fast, but then now that it's over, I feel like it really did fly by super fast. Because, at different points, it's kind of like, okay, at different points, like there'll be different days, like, okay, time feels like it's moving slow, and other days time will feel like it's moving super fast. But September went by pretty fast, but then I'm not going to be able to edit it because I don't have any editing capabilities at this point in time. I'm recording everything on my phone until I can, upgrade my equipment. But I found this, it might have been on Instagram, I'm not sure, but I found this thing that was saying that we don't have the same amount of hours in a day as we used to. And I just feel like it makes sense because to go along with this, I was looking forward to last fall because that would have been the first fall that all three of my kids were in school. And so with all three of them being in school, I was looking forward to being able just to get a little bit more work done when it comes to my business. But come to find out, like, there was really not much, like I wasn't able to get much more done. And, part of me is like, okay, I need to readjust my schedule, but really there's still not much of a change. So yeah, I wish I could share that quote. Maybe I'll try to leave it in the description box, maybe, because there's like a lot of censorship going on, but I don't know. But yeah, basically we don't have the same amount of hours in the day as we used to, and I just feel like I'm seeing that more and more as time goes on. So I mean, of course, I feel like that's a lesson as far as, you know, needing to go about things a different way when it comes to certain things. And of course, you know, try to maximize the amount of time that I currently have, but I'm getting off topic. Yeah, time is going by super fast. Okay. And just another thing that happened in September, I'm looking down at my notes. I did have a breakdown. It was like the day before the full moon. I think the full moon was on the 16th. It was like the middle of the month, I think. But I'm pretty sure it was, I know for sure it was like the day before, 2 days before the full moon. I just had this breakdown, and I feel like sometimes when you have breakdowns, it's masked as something else. But yeah, I had this breakdown, and I just felt like, you know, again, we're coming off a transformational year, summer, whatever. And so I just kind of feel like the full moon, my hormones, all of it kind of played a part in this breakdown. But I just feel like in general, I was just releasing a lot of energy, and I just feel like it was needed. And I'm happy in hindsight that I had the breakdown, because I feel like me having that breakdown kind of course, cleared my energy, but it cleared my energy in a sense that I would be able to handle what was coming up right behind it. Because it's like, if I didn't have that breakdown, then I'm sure I would have had it at some point before the month was over. So yeah, I had a breakdown, but I feel like it was a good thing, again, because I just was able to release like some stuck energy. Maybe I was channeling some collective energy, I don't know, but either way, you know, like I was saying, I'm grateful for it. Okay, so basically like a week after the breakdown, we had the equinox. Yeah, we had the equinox, and basically that's when I started going through like a whole bunch of delays. I mean, it's really not a lot, but I feel like the main thing I was looking forward to was receiving certain supplies so that I could start making body butters for my business, but pretty much they have been delayed. So the first delay I experienced was my fragrance oil shipment took about 2.5 weeks to get delivered. And I'm not really surprised by that, because I know September, or just the fall season, is significant for a lot of makers, because, you know, they're prepping for fall and the holiday season. But I still don't think I was necessarily expecting my order to take that long. But I feel like it's just a mental note for me to make. It's a mental note for me to make so that next year I I buy a little bit sooner. So that was like the first delay. And let me kind of backtrack a little bit. My plan was to make body butters, like start producing them like end of September, early October, to have them ready to go by the end of October, because, you know, it stays pretty warm here in the South, sometimes up until like mid-November, I think. But it's finally starting to cool down. So either way, my plan has been to start to have them ready to go by the end of October. And I think I was hoping that I could receive everything to start prepping a little bit sooner, to maybe have them ready to go like maybe mid-October. And so with my delays, it seems like my plans are still kind of working out. And the only reason, you know, it's like my original plan, I feel like it's still in place, but the fact that maybe I was hoping to get things done a little bit sooner, that's where that sense of delay is coming from. But either way, like I said, the first delay was the fragrance oils, okay? And then the second delay was Hurricane Helene, which was the impact was totally unexpected, I'll say that. I remember having a conversation with somebody specifically and saying, like, how many times do they always say that this is going to be, you know, what, this is going to be bad, or this such and such is going to happen, and it never happens. It's always like that. Like, it's really rare for their predictions as far as destruction goes comes to pass. But this is actually one of the times where I don't even want to say they're correct, because I really didn't read much on it. But yeah, Hurricane Helene came in. And then, so I didn't have power for like a few days, and then I didn't have internet for just a little bit longer. Well, not power. I didn't have power for like 12, 13 hours. And then we didn't have internet for 3 or 4 days, something like that. So that just kind of that delayed my plans in a sense that it's kind of thrown off the rest of my shipments as far as the supplies I need to make these body butters, right? So yeah, the hurricane delayed my plans, but in the end, I'm grateful that it wasn't much worse, at least for my area, because there are people that have gone days, it might even be weeks upon weeks before they're able to go back to their normal life. If that, I feel like some people's lives have actually been, I don't want to say destroyed, but some people's lives have actually been changed forever by this hurricane. And yeah, like I'm just grateful that it wasn't worse for me where I'm at in my town right now. So yeah. So yeah, delayed fragrance oils, delayed shipments. So that's really it as far as the delays. Again, it's not too much, but I just again, I feel like my major highlight for September was to receive these things, and my plans are just in a sense being thrown off a little bit, but with my lessons as far as patience, I'm just taking it in stride and just knowing that, what's meant for me is going to be for me, and I'm still going to make these body butters, and everything is, my plans are still going to go off at some point. So all right, so the next point would be my page, my Instagram page got suspended, my main page. I'll just say that it got suspended briefly, and I'm not sure exactly how long it was suspended. I feel like it was suspended from a span of either 20 minutes to 2 hours, because I feel like I first noticed that it was acting weird around 2 o'clock, which is the time I typically get my kids off the bus. But I didn't get an email that it was actually suspended until like 2 hours later, around 4 o'clock. And so I got the email, but then it only took like 10, 15, 20 minutes to kind of go through the process to get it back. So, I'm glad it didn't take that long. I'm glad I was able to at least get it back. But I just kind of feel like it was a lesson for me. I feel like my guides, my other spiritual friends, they've been telling me, or one in particular has been telling me to kind of like back off of Instagram a little bit. I mean, it's not really anything new, because I feel like with where I'm trying to go, with what I want to do with my shifts, there's really not much left for me to do there when it comes to like at least reading tarot. So getting kind of off topic. But so when it comes to my page getting suspended, I was a little bit, upset, because I feel like it's one of the ways in which I make money, but I will say that it's not really significant anymore. It's still a channel, so I value it for that, but then I also value the connections that I've made there. So I was a little bit upset that it was suspended, but again, I feel like I've been a little bit forewarned that, I need to shift. And I feel like in general, a lot of people are moving away from Instagram, but just to kind of go along with that, we don't own any of these social media platforms. So I just feel like it's just another, in a sense, a lesson that, nothing is permanent, especially when it comes to social media. Anything can be taken away from you in an instant when it comes to social media. So I just feel like I got a preview of that firsthand. And I told my story watchers that, if it can happen once, it can happen again, and I might not be able to get it back so easily. So like for now, I don't really have a backup plan as far as the page goes, because I feel like I'm, kind of moving away from tarot a little bit anyways. But again, I am at the same time glad that I was able to at least get it back. And yeah, so page got suspended. Feel like I handled it well. And yeah, so those were pretty much the main things to recap about September. I feel like I don't say they're like bad things. I just kind of feel like there are things that happened, but there are things that happened, and I don't want to call them negative, but I'm not really sure what to call them. But I did want to end the video with some positives that happened over the month. So the first thing would be that I was able to finally open my mixer. I've been wanting a mixer, I've been wanting a mixer probably for like the last year. And my plan for the mixer was just to be able to make larger quantities of body butters for my business. And so I finally bought it over the summer. And I just feel like, of course, when I bought it, it was a sign that I was going in the right direction, because on the box, it had a production date of February 2nd, 2022. So there was an angel number on the box. And so I just kind of felt like that was a sign to me. So that was the first good thing. And then I'm also just grateful that I have an online business, because again, due to the hurricane, like not having any power, not having any internet, I was still able to make sales during that time. So I'm grateful for that. And then the last thing would be like one of those sales that I made during not having any internet was my first digital product sale, which I have not promoted at all. And I don't even know like how I made that sale, to be honest with you. I think the person bought some intention oils, and then maybe they browsed through my website and decided to purchase they decided to purchase my ebook. And basically the ebook happened very randomly. Like I was sitting down one day, and it was a Friday or Saturday night, and I just in my mind I'm like, okay, let me just make this fragrance oil ebook, my vendor list for my fragrance oils. I just put it together randomly like 2-3 weeks ago. And I wasn't planning to promote it on like my main page or at all. I was planning to create content for my product page and promote it that way. But again, somebody just happened to buy it without any promotion. And I'm like, I'm trying to wrap my mind around it, and I'm trying to wrap my mind around it, trying not to overthink it, because I'm just like, obviously they wanted my vendors, but at the same time, like, I didn't promote it, so it's just like, how did this happen? But either way, I'm just celebrating it because again, it was my first digital product sale, no promotion whatsoever, and then it was a totally random thing that I decided to put together a few weeks ago. And I have other digital products that I'm trying to work on that I can't even seem to finish yet, but I randomly put this thing together and somebody bought it. So I just think it's so crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much my September recap. Again, it's just a lot of significant energy I feel like September brought. And I feel like it's going to continue throughout the year, of course. And it'll be interesting to kind of look back next year to see what shifts for people. But either way, that's my recap. If you guys want to share your recap down below, or, some things that happened to you over the month of September, please leave those down there. And thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.